Andrew, I'm so happy to be here with you on Canada Day.
Thanks.
There's no better way to celebrate it, if you ask me.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm pretty excited to be here with you on Canada Day. It's a good way to celebrate.
Absolutely, you were great on stage.
Thank you.
Now it's been a while since we've done the formal interview.
Right.
Since we've talked about everything that you're doing.
This is true.
I'd like to start off to talk about your solo with Carly Rae Jepsen. Or sorry, your
My
duet
yeah.
with Carly Rae Jepsen.
Well, my part was a solo, and her part was a solo. Combined, I guess it's a duet. Yeah, her and I, we got into the studio. We both use the same producer, Ryan Stewart, over in North Vancouver. And so we got into the studio, and Ryan and I had begun working on a song. And then Carly came into it, and I'm really glad she did, because it was like two married dudes writing a song about breaking up with a girl and writing the girl's perspective. And she came in and was like, no.
That's not
So she reworked a lot of it, and it's a really cool song. I'm really excited for the world to hear it.
And did that happen before you guys had played together?
Yeah. Yes, it did. I had to think about that. Yes, it happened before we played together. We played together once in Vernon, and we didn't have time to learn the song together. And then when we did it again in Vancouver, then we actually got to perform it.
That's awesome. And do you happen to know a tentative date of when we might get to hear it?
I'm not exactly sure. She just launched a brand new duet, and I think it's out. Yeah, with Alice City. Okay, good. And so we just wanted to kind of hold back on that one, because we're like, well, I don't want to get in the way, because she's kind of on this crazy rising star, so it's just like, let her have her thing, and then we'll...
And then it's your turn.
Well, yeah.
It is.
Whoa.
We're going to see you on Ellen soon.
Bam, I'd love to be on Ellen, man. She's so cool.
She is, absolutely.
Yeah. I'd dance with her.
So would I. I'm sure you have some good dance moves, too.
Not really, but neither does she, so it'd be
That's
fun.
true enough. You'd work together.
Yeah.
You'd make out some cool moves.
I think so.
Now, going over to another artist, you're going to be opening for Nick Carter, I heard.
Yeah, it's true.
What's that all about?
You know what? I just got the call that he was playing at the C&E, and did we want to open for him? And I was like Nick Carter? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, not Nick Carter Tribute Band. And they're like, nope, Nick Carter. And I was like, that sort of means that we're opening for the Backstreet Boys. Doesn't it?
It absolutely 1/5 of the Backstreet Boys.
So that's fine. I'm
like
totally
it.
stoked on it. It's at the C&E in Toronto. I think the date is like August 19th. And yeah, we're going to be opening for Nick Carter.
That's awesome. Good for you.
Fun, yeah.
And you also have another Vancouver show coming up. Can you tell us a bit about that?
August 11th, we're playing over in North Vancouver at the Shipbuilders Yard. Or I think that's what it's called. Shipyard Builders. Something to do with ships and building and yards. And,
there you go. You can find it.
We're actually going to be supporting Barney Bentall. Yeah, it's going to be a really fun show, I think. It's going to be pretty chill, and we'll have the whole band out and get to play a little bit longer, and yeah.
Now, all those artists aside, I want to talk mostly about you, obviously. You've been crazy busy. You've been doing things all over the place.
Yeah.
But you're still taking time for your fans. You see a lot of stars sending tweets. You know, they'll answer fans, everything. You've gone a step above that. You do a video log every week, and you actually answer fans' questions.
Yeah.
What got you to start doing that?
Well, last year I was on tour so heavily throughout the United States. We hit every single state except for 4. And it was just like so incredibly crazy. And I lost touch with a lot of people that were really connected to my, sort of my music in the first place, and I was finding it hard to keep up. And so this year I've been spending a lot more time writing at home and spending time with family and friends, and they all just mean so much to me that when I thought about, like, man, how I'm not out playing right now, but how can I still connect with people so that they know that I'm listening to them and I want to talk to them. And so I just came up with this idea to do a video blog every Monday night, and I thought, I don't know what I'm going to talk about, because I can't imagine just pulling out a camera and being like, hey, this is what I'm thinking about today, and I hope that you're interested. So I was like, well, what would people be interested in? And then I thought, why don't I just ask them? And so I asked them on Facebook, and everybody started asking questions, and it's just kind of snowballed from there, and there's been some hilarious questions.
There has been, and you even had your wife Julia on just this last one.
That's right.
How does she feel about it all?
She really likes it. Her and I actually used to work on a cruise ship a long time ago, and we were both social hosts. And so one of the things that we did is we actually had a morning show that was broadcast throughout the entire cruise ship, and it was called Wake Up with the Allens. And so we haven't done anything together where we're both sort of in front of the camera for a while. And so there was somebody that asked, hey, can Julia be in one of your video blogs? And so I brought her in once, and it got way more views than any of my other ones.
Really?
And I was like, what the heck? Okay, so then I asked again, like, do you guys want to see her again? And they're like, absolutely. And they asked a ton of questions, and none of them were for me. So I was like, all right, cool. I guess Julia's being on it
Guess
again.
Julia's doing it next week.
And Julia's like, I'm totally cool with it. She loves being on it, and she's definitely been a part of me, obviously, but also a part of the, sort of Andrew Allen music team forever. And so it's really cool to be able to get her on there and have people ask her questions so that she can answer from her perspective.
Good.
Yeah.
Now, to me, that shows your genuine side. It shows how true to the heart you are. And that makes me want to ask, a lot of different artists, their publicists have tried to change them. They've said, you can't wear this, whether it's down to your wedding band.
Yeah.
Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah. In my first music video, Loving You Tonight, it was like my first big budget music video and everything. And they were like, oh, well, you're supposed to be dating this girl and stuff like that. And so you got to lose the wedding ring because otherwise it looks like you're cheating on your wife. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. And then I was like, well, can't you get her a wedding ring? They're like, no, that looks too old because then you'll both be married and you're not really married to that girl. And I was like, okay. So I kind of compromised by putting my wedding ring on my other finger. And I was like, there, I think that kind of is okay. And then I thought about it afterwards and I was like, no, it's not. And I ended up shooting the music video with the ring on my other finger. But as things sort of progressed, I just basically put in a call to the management and to the label and said, look, guys, it's never happening again. And I'm not compromising on anything like that. This is how it's going to roll. And Julia, from this point forward, comes on every tour with me if she wants to. And it's open for her to come. And they're like, okay. And they let it happen. And they've never asked me to wear something different. They've suggested things. And often I've been like, no, you're probably wrong. If there's anybody that knows me, it's probably me. And that's, I think, why the music comes out so authentic, is because it's just from my heart. And so if I start changing things, then people are going to see through it, and they're not going to believe in what I'm doing. And so if it means that maybe I didn't change enough to get to the top of the world, but it's fine because the people that are in the world that I'm in love me, and so I'll stick with them.
Absolutely. Yeah. You couldn't be more right. Now, talking about your writing that you've been doing, because you are actually at home, which is nice.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Do you have a favorite that you're working on right now?
I wrote a song about 2 weeks ago called Satellite, and it was it was kind of a hard song to get out, but it's definitely one of my favorites right now. It's really sort of touching, and it's not a personal song from me, but it is it's me diving into another relationship that not I've had, but I know friends who have had it, where the couple split and neither of them really know why, and the guy is kind of saying to the girl in this song, I know everything's going to work out fine. It sucks so bad right now, and it's hard for me to tell you that you're going to be fine because you're going to find somebody else, and we're just not meant to be. And so it's this really kind of heart-wrenching song, but it's all about, just kind of spreading the wings and getting back out there and flying.
That's awesome. Now, can you tell me, I know Julia was saying that the summer's it's going to be a little bit more relaxing for you guys. Do you have other tour dates aside from the one in Toronto and in Vancouver, though? Yeah,
I'm back here. Oh, no, sorry, I'm not. I'm in Cedar Creek Winery on July 19th. Which will be great. It's like a winery show, 2 45-minute sets. Everybody will just be drinking wine. I don't think
you included?
Well, I might have to be slow on it because 2 45-minute sets, by the time I hit the second set, if I drank too much wine, I'll just be all red-mouthed and talking too much. Yeah, exactly. Guys, let's play this song. It's my favorite. Sing along, Brown Eyed Girl. And then July 26th, I'm here in Vancouver, but it's for a private show. And then, that sounds funny. That sounds kind of erotic. And then July...
But is it?
Yeah, no, it's not. Then July 28th, I'm back in Penticton at Rock the Peach. August 11th, back in North Vancouver. August 15th, I'm playing at the Southeast Missouri University. It's so random. But I'm going... It's in Cape Girardeau... MO. I can't remember what MO stands for. It's a state. Missouri? Yeah, you're right. That's why it's the Southeast Missouri State University.
I have no idea how I just got that. I wasn't even...
Maya's smarter than me.
Well, yeah. I wouldn't say that.
Yeah. And then August 19th with Nick Carter, and then we'll see.
I am impressed that you could name every single date that you have. That's definitely impressive.
There's not tons of them, so it's easy for me to remember this time. And I've kind of planned strategic camping trips and paddleboard outings just kind of in between it. So I just try to remember when all the dates are that I can't be on the lake.
Yeah, good for you. Now you have some new ink.
It's true.
Are you able to tell me a little bit about why you got it?
Absolutely. I wish I could show you the top of it, but my shirt's too tight. But it's got a big tsunami wave that comes over the top. And at the top of it, there's a few cherry blossoms that are floating down through. So the tsunami wave is because there's an old Japanese picture of a tsunami wave, and there's fishermen coming into it, and it's to show that there's this huge wave, but they're not afraid of it because they're skilled at what they do, and so they're going to go into it, and they're going to do what they know how to do, and they'll be fine. The cherry blossoms, Julia has a cherry blossom down her back, and so I brought the cherry blossoms into mine, and they're right at the top, which is kind of cool. And then I have a bonsai tree that's growing out of a rock because they're resilient and they're strong and they grow out of anything. And then in the front I have a bamboo ladder with a broken rung. It's because I read a quote one time that the rungs of a ladder are not made to be stood on, but instead to be climbed. And so if you stay for too long on one, it could break, and that's why I have a broken rung on mine. And it's all sitting in this calm water to show sort of the difference between how you need to have the calm water and you need to have the rough water in order for your life to progress.
So it's basically you as a person wrapped up into one awesome tattoo.
Thank you. It's sort of
no
is,
problem.
I guess. And
it really is.
The other part is I'm super wimpy, and I got this one done. It took 10 minutes, and I was like sweating out of my feet, and I was like, this is the worst pain I've ever experienced. Just kill me now. And that was like right when I left on tour, when I sold everything and got into a van and just started touring. And so I was like, I gotta like man up and get like a better tattoo. That's like a little.
Did this one hurt as much?
Well, the tattoo artist was like, if you can get yourself into the zone, like when you're here, then you'll be fine. And I'm like, okay. And so I was like practicing my breathing and everything. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna own this thing. And so I got into the chair, and he started. And I'm like, I'm okay. I'm doing this. And 7.5 hours later, he's like, dude, you're kind of like a Marine. And I'm like, I'm loving this. This is so like I'm in this zone, and it was like almost like a weird surreal drug thing, which I've never been on that, but I'm just, if that's what people, anyways. So anyways, I was like super pumped that I could do it, but I had to leave because I had to go for I was going to play with my parents or something. So then I went back to get the color done a month later, and I was like, yeah, I'm a trooper. I can totally do this. And I get into the chair, and like an hour in, and I'm like, can you call my mom? Like, this hurts so bad. And we went for 8 hours, and I was just like, this is excruciating. So I kind of, I didn't man up in the second one. Yeah.
In total, though, how long was it?
About 15 hours so far.
Jeez.
Yeah, we still need a bit more color up in the top here.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts.
You've got more guts than I do, for sure. Now, anyone that's watched my interviews or has seen the one that I did with you know that my last question is always about your socks.
All right. What socks am I wearing right now?
The last time I saw you, whenever you were performing, you were in the comfiest socks you could find. So does that stand true?
Yes, it totally does. I was like, oh, I'm going to wear these socks yesterday, and I was like, oh, no. I got to drive all the way to Vancouver, play a show, and then drive all the way back. I'm going to wear the most comfy socks I have. So I actually put them aside and saved them for today.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah, I shouldn't actually be wearing them with these shoes. These are kind of the kind of shoes you don't wear socks with, but...
That's right. Nobody else saw them, right? Nobody else knows except for us.
I was wearing different shoes on stage anyway, and they required socks.
They were like red burgundy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
they were awesome.
Thank you.
And are those just your stage shoes?
No, only because it's freaking muddy, and I was like, I'm not wrecking these in the mud. No.
I went on a hunt. I wanted to do the interview on a merry-go-round.
Oh my gosh.
Which would have been awesome, right?
Until we puked.
Maybe.
How was your tattoo?
I was hoping if we kept, a focal point, we'd be okay.
Maybe.
We originally thought the Ferris wheel, but how could you set up the tripod? It might not work.
Right.
So I went on a hunt for the merry-go-round, and my awesome pink shoes got covered in mud.
Are muddy.
They are.
I bet it'll wash off, though.
I hope so.
Yeah.
At least it didn't get my Ninja Turtle socks. So
that's the socks you're wearing?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. It was a
It's
pleasure.
so nice to see you again.
Yeah, you too, man.
I appreciate it.
Happy Canada Day. You too. 145 years old. Canada has a senior citizen card. Times 2.